Welcome into the Bills Chat Halftime Show. The Bills lead the Bucs by a score of 21-20. So there's it's been a half, right? The penalty on the block kick was Alec Anderson got called for holding, so essentially pulling down the offensive lineman to get out of Greg Rousseau's way. I will say, when you watch the replay back and CBS only showed one angle, it didn't look like Alec Anderson really got him. It looked like the offensive lineman just fell, but the way Anderson's arms came down, it looked like that's what the referee saw. So the Bucs got a second chance. Some really dumb things by the Bills, though. I mean, that you want to chalk it up to it, but Solomon knocking the ball out of the Bucs' hands, you can't do that. The refs are all looking at you. They're all running toward the ball, and all you did was give the Bucs a free timeout on their last drive. Just dumb, dumb, dumb the way the Bills handled the last drive. But the Bills do have a lead, which at some point it looked like was going to be challenging for them. Nothing about this game is sustainable. The most unserious team I've seen in years. Well, there's a lot of factors going on, right? Like, one, they're missing their best offensive weapon in Dalton Kincaid. There's a lot of wind out there, which is not anything unique to Buffalo. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I wouldn't necessarily say that this means they can't overcome it. But I agree with you in a sense that offensively right now, it has a feeling of the 2019 Buffalo Bills where it's feast or famine with Josh Allen. He's not making quick reads. He's not making decisive reads, and he's making incorrect reads some of the times. But his stats look great. 8 for 17, 155, 2 touchdowns. The 2 interceptions are looming. He also has a rushing touchdown. On the upside, the Bills are throwing the ball downfield, baby steps. Correct, Stokes. I agree. I mean, it's nice to see this team big game hunting, big play hunting, I should say, because this has been missing. There's some verticality to the offense, but there was a drive that I think kind of summed up where the Bills are at right now, all in a 3-play stretch. The first drive, or the first play of the drive, Josh Allen's in scramble mode. Curtis Samuel is coming across the field on the backside of Levante David, and you would like Curtis Samuel to have the awareness to just run to the open field, but he's looking at Josh Allen. Josh Allen has to point. By the time he turns around, the ball's overthrown. I think that one's probably a little bit more on Samuel. The second play, right after that, Khalil Shakir is going wide open up the sideline, and Josh Allen just sails it out of bounds. So an incomplete throw by Josh Allen, inaccurate. So you have a bad play by a receiver, and then a bad play by the quarterback as far as inaccuracy. And then they go to the fourth down, and Ty Johnson is as wide open as can be in the flat. Josh Allen doesn't either get there in his progressions or doesn't even bother looking at him. He just stares at Dawson Knox, throws it for what ends up being an interception. And Ty Johnson would have probably walked for a first down, if not more. And it's just, right now, everything with this offense is like pulling teeth. Stokes is right. This run defense is really, really bad right now. It sure is. Lucas said on our Bucs Bills pregame show, and he's right, Rachaad White, for as being as good as he is as a fantasy football running back when Bucky Irvin is not playing, is not some sort of elite running back. He is a run your offense running back. He's a volume running back. He plays on all 3 downs. That's why he's valuable in fantasy. But Rachaad White coming into your building and averaging 5.3 yards per carry, 9 carries for 48 yards, and then Sean Tucker, 9 for 71, 7.9 yards per carry. And if that wasn't bad enough, anytime this defense sees a read option, it's like they don't realize that it's within the rules for the quarterback to keep the ball. We saw it rear its ugly head twice in the first quarter, where Baker Mayfield decides to keep it, and every single Bill on the field, predominantly Joey Bosa, looks completely fooled by it. This Josh makes me sad. He was so awesome and cool. All right, John, I feel where you're coming from. I don't think we have to talk about him just yet in past tense. I realize there's some concerning trends going on. I want all of us, including myself, to take a deep breath. We are not that far removed from Josh Allen being the best player in the sport. It was last season. We are not that far removed from Josh Allen being the quarterback that 29, 30 other teams would have sold their entire roster for. The talent is still there. There's been this school of thought that Josh Allen has lost a step, and I've kind of wondered that as well. I don't think that's the case. I think you see the arm, the agility, the speed, the playmaking ability are all there. He's just not trusting himself right now. if he can somehow get that back, which is going to be hard to do because it's not like they're going to get a boost from bringing in a Jalen Waddle. The best they can do right now is bringing in a Mecole Hardman or a Gabe Davis. Getting Dalton Kincaid back will help. But essentially, to borrow a phrase from Austin Powers, he needs his mojo back. He needs to just do it. Right now, it's like he has reverted to seeing it and then doing it versus just doing it. And when you hesitate in the NFL, that's the difference between a big play and a big mistake. And right now, Josh Allen is just hesitating. It's unlike things we have seen these last couple of years. There's no real answer for it. If I had the answer for it, the Bills would pay me 7 figures to go in that building and give it to them. You get on Twitter, there's a lot of speculation of, oh, maybe it has something to do with his marriage. You're not going to get that kind of analysis on this show. I think that is completely unprofessional, and I think it's low-hanging fruit. It's first day of philosophy 101 class, if-then statements. If Josh Allen got married, then he starts playing bad at football. They got to be connected. No, they sure don't. They sure don't. So I think that there's probably a larger issue here. The other part of this is it's just hard to be really good in the NFL. These are the best athletes in the world, not just our quarterback, but the athletes they're playing against. So if you're just a little bit off, it shows. Let's see. Knox and Shakir aren't nearly as great as everyone thinks they are. So Knox is certainly not worth his contract. They signed that contract 3 years ago. And it's funny, right after they signed it, it matched the guaranteed money that was in the Travis Kelce deal. And that certainly does not look like a deal that's worthy of what Dawson Knox gives them. And then the Bills the next year went out and drafted Dalton Kincaid, who became their primary receiving tight end, and Dawson Knox fell back into more of a blocking tight end role. I do think he's a useful receiver. I don't know. I mean, I do know. We've seen enough of his career now. He was drafted in 2019. He's never going to be a huge weapon in the passing game. As far as backup tight ends go, I think he's about as good as it gets when your number one tight end goes out, but he's not a game changer out there. The Bills are lacking game changers. The one they have in the receiving game is Dalton Kincaid, and he's not playing today. Who thought Knox was great? I agree with Teg. Don't you think he's hesitating because the coaching scheme, thinking way too much because he's probably being told too many things? Potentially, that could potentially be it. It could be, if I were to guess, I would say that, give me 1 second. I'm being handed a note by my daughter. Oh, Nicole. Okay, got you. Boom. Anyway, if I were to guess, live shows, you never know what's going to happen. I would say it's probably all connected. One, the receivers aren't great. We know that. Josh Allen knows that. This isn't like when he had Diggs and Beasley where you could even not even see the spot they're going to, but trust they're going to be there. There is a hesitation there when you're throwing it to a 14 who is Tyrell Shavers and not Stephon Diggs. That hesitation can lead to lack of confidence. I also think that as the Bills have become more run heavy, Josh Allen is frankly losing in-game reps as a thrower. And that might sound like an excuse. And I'm certainly not trying to make excuses for Josh Allen. I am like the rest of you trying to figure out what has happened here. But anything you do in life, the more you do it, the better you are at it. And with the Bills now being one of the heaviest run teams in the NFL, that comes at the sacrifice of throwing the ball. And that is, what is that, 100 less passes a year? It may not sound like much, but maybe Josh Allen is just losing those game reps. Who knows? But they better figure it out, because as we all can agree on, this roster is not good enough to overcome their quarterback being average to above average. Their quarterback has to be a superhero for this team to have championship aspirations. When their quarterback is average to above average, they're more like a wild card team, which is where they are right now. It's creepy blaming his slump on his marriage. I agree. People will do that on Twitter. Twitter's awful. Just don't worry about that. I'm hoping we can make defensive adjustments. So here's the problem with that. Unlike earlier in the year, Christopher, we had this hope of, oh, well, Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi are coming back. There is no, this guy's coming back. Shaq Thompson will come back. I acknowledge that, okay? But it's not like, oh, Max Harrison's going to come back. He's back. Ed Oliver may be back for the playoffs, but how much can you really expect out of him? They got their guys. I know, Joey Bosa's banged up. Terrell Bernard's banged up if you watch that thread by Cover One. But, I mean, nobody's coming through the door to save them at this point. And the fact that you're still seeing bad angles, It's hard to tell on TV tape. I mean, the tape, the all 22 will tell the story, but on that long Sean Tucker run, again, bad tackling, bad angles. And, at this point in time, it is the middle of November. It's hard to just imagine at this point those issues going away. Let's see what happens in the second half. The game is sketchy, but go Bills. Absolutely. I mean, this has been a frustrating game, but they have the lead, they get the ball, and the offense has life. And again, I sound like I'm making excuses for Josh Allen, okay? When he's getting tackled in the end zone, my brain is shouting, get rid of it. He gets rid of it, and it goes right to a Buccaneer who catches it. But, the defense ends up making a stand. It's fine. It ended up being, luckily, a no harm, no foul because they held him to a field goal. But, that's just, I don't mind him getting rid of it there, but not, I don't know what he's supposed to do. It's rocking a hard place. The second interception, it's fourth down. I don't really care about an interception on fourth down. Granted, in a perfect world, you'd throw it 40 yards down the field, but the defense would never catch it in that scenario. But on fourth down, the last thing you can do is take a sack or throw it out of bounds. So I never mind an interception on fourth down. It looks terrible in the stat sheet, but I'm more so upset that he didn't throw it to Ty Johnson, who was open in the flat. Speaking of Ty Johnson, let's talk about that. Ty Johnson has been an unsung hero in this game. He has 1 carry for 9 yards, but it was a big carry, and 2 catches for 61 yards. I called him out as a player to watch in this game. I think that he and James Cook are 2 mismatches on this offense that the Bills can certainly take advantage of, and they haven't been doing it enough, and I think sending them even downfield is something that the Bills should be more open to, because right now this is not a team that can be picky about the playmakers that they're putting out there. So what's going to happen in the second half? Well, one, I would not assume that the running back the defensive tackles stopping the running back situation. I'm trying to multitask; it's not working. Will get better. The Bills stopping the run is not going to improve. I don't know what the adjustment is here. Unfortunately, the other thing that's making me a little bit unhappy is Tre'Davious White is still playing half the snaps with Maxwell Hairston. I don't know why we're still doing that. It feels like we should have graduated to the point of Maxwell Hairston being the guy. Like to see that change. Christopher with a question here. The Jaguars released a DT last week. Should we pursue him? Kalen Saunders, he's a big player. I don't know. I mean, I think the Bills have dudes at defensive tackle. I really do. They have Daquan Jones. They have Walker. They just got TJ Sanders back today. Jordan Phillips, if you want him. Sure, if you want to, I suppose. He's probably going to just go back to Kansas City, I would assume. But at this point, I really do think that what the Bills are missing is schematic and sticking to your 111th, as they say, in the run game. I'm going to get out of here. The Bills need to get this one to the garage, find a way to win this game. The Bucs are not going away easy. Keon Coleman, if you hadn't heard, if you're not watching, was benched today. He was inactive, didn't even get a jersey because he was late for a practice on Friday, or late for a meeting on Friday. Very, very less than ideal start to Keon Coleman's career since the Bills made him the 33rd pick in the draft. Couldn't be off to a more disappointing start. I am Josh McCarty. Luca and I will be back tomorrow morning for Bills Bucs post game. Something potentially special coming up on Thursday for Bills Texans. We'll get to that later this week. And then Luca and I will be here for Bills Chat Live on Wednesday. Enjoy the second half. Go Bills. Find a way to win this game. And Josh Allen, please come back to us. Please. Talk to y'all later.